Um, I've always been very cultural because my parents have, set those sort of expectations of us. Like, I mean, I came here at a bit older age than others. So I knew already what culture was like and how important it is and the cultural practices. So when I came here, I was not disengaged with them. I would be attending cultural events. I'd be involved in it. I would listen to elders.
Cultural events.
So they would do like a culture day. At the time, it would be like in Sydney. Culture day is where different tribes would come and showcase their dances, what they do as a culture aspect. So yeah, so culture day, we'd all attend it, like especially Christmas. People are going there and it's just endless dancing and singing. And then they would also do certain...
What's it called? On Christmas, they have something on the 1st of the 1st. I don't know what it's called in Dinka. What is it called?
Toguruan, basically.
Yeah.
Toguruan, end of the year, it's endless party. And when I say party, it's traditional lore, straight up, man. It's lore, and we go all day long, and that's...
What's a lore for people that don't know?
Lore is traditional dancing, where you go to YouTube, you'll see people dancing, and there's a drama, and then people are singing along to it, and then you're dressed in your cultural attire. That's lore. There's lore coming up, by the way, on Christmas, 25th, 26th, on the 1st. If you go to South Sudan, it's on from 25th, 26th, 7th, 28th. 20. I'm telling you, all the way through, like 10 days, 15 days straight of just constant lore, man. And it's the kids and teenagers, adults, mothers, everybody is involved in it, man. And it's a good occasion because it's just all love, happiness, joy, laughter. And as we enter into the new year, we go in it laughing and enjoying ourselves. So at the time back in Newcastle, we often attended these sort of cultural events. They used to have this game, right, where they would call you to the front of the stage. And then they ask you a Dinka word. And if you didn't know what it meant, you get a $100 fine. You're fined $100 on the spot. Or they ask you to say something in Dinka Tongmonjang. So it was a test to see that kids are learning Dinka and they're still being taught. And the elders would then tell the stories. It was a beautiful thing.
Did you ever get fined?
No, I didn't get fined. I would get fined.
I would get fined a lot of money. I would be in debt right now. But now I'm learning. That's the best thing about it. As long as I'm learning and I'm getting there. So even speaking with my mum, I would hear a word and she would be on the phone talking to someone on the phone. Man. And I was like, oh, that's what that meant. I wouldn't have guessed what that is. So like, I love being around the atmosphere, being around my mum, speaking with the family. So that's helped a lot. And I'm glad that was the case for you.
It was good. Like those events played a part, and then also towards the end of my high school chapter, we went, me, my father, a few of my cousins and brother went to South Sudan to visit. And it was the first time in a long time. We went to Juba, and then we went all the way to the village, to Rumbek and other areas we had previously lived in. Now, this trip itself, man, played such a significant role in my life and who I am today. Because when you're, like, I've been away for a while, right, prior to going back then. Now, we hear there's problems back home. It's one thing to hear it, but it's another thing to go and see it and live it and experience it. So for me, it was a turnaround in terms of being focused again and redefining my purpose and what I stand for. What it showed me was there's a bigger reason why I came to Australia. And I needed that reminder again. So when we went, we spent a lot of time with my elders, we sat down and they spoke to us. And one of the elders spoke deeply to us and said, look, you kids are the future of this country. We don't have any hope anymore. You are the hope. So if you have got a chance to go to Australia, don't waste it. Go there, become successful, come back tomorrow and give back. Like, help us, help others who are here who are struggling. That message, it didn't just go over my head. I allowed that message to go into my heart and I just let it sit there. And then I just started reflecting and I'm like, man, this is what I needed to hear. It changed my perspective and my purpose in life became a lot more clearer.
What advice would you give someone who isn't lucky enough to go all the way back home to South Sudan or their home, or are born here? what advice would you give them, from what you heard that was so enriching that changed you completely?
You have to sit down in the day and ask yourself, who do I want to be in life and what do I want to contribute, in this world? Like, what kind of difference do I want to make? And the difference doesn't always mean, going overseas and serving or doing some humanitarian work. It just means you do what you feel like you're born to do. So as a young person, ask yourself, how do I want to live my life, and what is it that I want to do? What are the values that I stand for? And then you start to see what you can do to make that purpose come to life.